Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel to our FC26 Manchester City career mode. In today's episode, we're going to kick things off with a game against Brighton, but the main talking point is that we are in the January transfer window, meaning we are going to be doing a bit of movement in the market, and we might even be making a move for a transfer signing, 1, 2, or maybe even 3. In terms of first team players, we're not in really intention of bringing in lots of first team players or first team players at all. You guys know that we've got rules that we set out at the start of the season. We can recap those if we need to, but we can't sign any first team players in January for over 30 million, and we can only sign a maximum of 1. We've got a 1 in, 1 out policy. Now we have let Stefan Ortega go, which means we have lost a foreign player from our 25-man squad, meaning we can bring in perhaps a right back to play as our first choice right back for the future at Manchester City. And of course, we do need to bring in some young talents as well. City always bring in some talents for the future in the transfer window, and that is what we have intention in this one. But in this episode, we're going to play the games that we've got in store, and we'll look to bring in possibly a new right back in the next episode towards the end of the market. Then we'll look to sort of bring in some younger players for the future of Manchester City. And one thing I wanted to mention is this bit of news from Fabrizio Romano here, talking about transfer season. He says, Al-Kuch, that is the man who plays for AS Monaco, is attracting interest this transfer window from both Manchester City and also West Ham United. Both sides are interested and perhaps even pushing to sign the AS Monaco player. Well, I don't know anything about this move. Yes, Magnus Al-Kuch is on our shortlist for the summer, but there is no move from Manchester City this January. Fabrizio's obviously getting that from perhaps the Frenchman's agent. Maybe he's trying to push their move to another club, maybe to West Ham United, with interest in Manchester City as well. There is interest there, but there's nothing happening. We do need to talk about the right back situation, which we will do in today's episode. But let's first get into things of the game at home against Brighton. A Brighton side that have done pretty well against us this season. We've got a terrible record against them. They knocked us out of the Carabao Cup. They beat us in the Premier League. So we're going to play the game to try and beat them. And we are catching up to the league leaders, Newcastle. So in today's episode, it's going to look like this. It's going to be Brighton at home. It's going to be Sheffield Wednesday away, perhaps in the Cup, we'll see. Newcastle United away in the Cup, certainly. And then also, it's going to be Manchester United in the Premier League as well. And when I say Brighton knocked us out, they took us to penalties, didn't they, in the Carabao Cup? We were into the Carabao Cup semi-finals. But I think we're going to play 3 games today for this episode and simulate 1. So we'll probably simulate that Sheffield game out of all those. That is probably the decision. And then in terms of games, maybe we simulate the Brighton one. Maybe we simulate the Brighton one and get the younger players playing the Sheffield Wednesday game. That is the decision I'll have to make. And then in the next episode, it'll be 3 games again to end January. Monaco away, Napoli at home. We'll probably simulate the game against Wolves at home. And we'll play probably that Spurs away game. And then we're back towards a monthly sort of going as normal. We're looking to try and keep episodes or series down to 13 to 14 episodes. Season 1 will be 14 episodes because we did an introduction episode. The rest of that, every other season, will be 13. So we will get this into 13 episodes. And that is why I think we simulate the Brighton game at home. I've rethought this. We'll play Sheffield Wednesday away, United away, and Newcastle away. We'll make perhaps a signing. And then Monaco away, Wolves away. Wolves at home we'll simulate in the next episode. Napoli at home we'll play, and we'll play that Spurs away game as well. Get ourselves into February and through the month of January, because we need to play one less game, because there is going to be transfer news, transfer action. Before we get into the game against Brighton, we could talk about that, but I'm going to play this game against Brighton, I'll simulate it, and then we'll talk transfer news in terms of a right back. Let's decide we're going to go with against Brighton today. Brighton, of course, got a decent record against us. Phil Thorne suspended after the red card in the previous episode. So Donnarumma in goal, Cristiano Diaz, Ake and Ait in the back 4, Rodri, Katzmanel, Silva and Kovacic in the midfield 3, Doku, Haaland, Oscar Bob the front 3. And it's a 2-0 win at home against Brighton. A clean sheet for Donnarumma again, and 2 goals for Manchester City. They come from Reunite Nuri and Erling Haaland, and City set things off with 3 points in the Premier League. So we do want to bring in a right back this January transfer window, and one player that is obviously the one that everyone wants to see Manchester City sign is Newcastle United's Tino Livramento. By far the best right back, I think, out there in the world of football for City to have a possibility of signing at the moment. He's homegrown, he's English, he feels like the new Kyle Walker. He's very solid defensively, he's great going forward as well, and you can see his stats in game. I mean, only 23 years of age. Look at those stats, absolutely unbelievable. Pacey, great passing, great physical, great defending, wonderful dribbling. Can play on the left-hand side as well, he has no problem playing there. The issue comes around the price and the cost. that he's going to cost 80-something million, and also that Newcastle won't sell him in January. And that's why we're looking at someone like Javaru Reid. Now, Newcastle on the title race with us, so why would they sell us Tino Livramento? They won't do. So our second option, or two options for January that I've gone out there and I've put a vote out for you guys, is Javaru Reid, one man who plays for Feyenoord, 81 pace, 55 shooting. He's more of a wing-back, I would say, someone who's an attacking full-back, a bit like what we've got in Matheus Nunes, someone who doesn't want to get back and defend, but someone who wants to get forward and bomb down that right-hand side. Now, we do want an attacking right-back, so I do like that option, but I'm not sure that is the right option for us at the moment. But him playing that attacking role could be really important for this City side. And he's only 19 years of age, so he's certainly got so many years of development left in him. He's got so many years to sort of be the player we know he can be, has potential to be. So he's high on our list, but he's not the only one on that list of options, because as good as he looks, you know, stats-wise, I'm not entirely certain I am sold on his ability to play that attacking wing-back role. I think maybe we want someone who can sort of complement Matheus Nunes a little bit and play a little more defensively at times, and maybe a bit more of an out-and-out defender. Because remember, we are looking at someone to start for Manchester City. Now, I know Tino Livramento, we could go back for him in the summer. The intention is maybe, depending on the situation in Newcastle, I know they're right up there in the top four at the moment. Hopefully, they have a bit of a drop-off, and we can go back in for maybe someone else like Tino Livramento in the summer, and just bring in a right-back for the here and now. Despite the form, that being said, of the likes of Matheus Nunes and Kasanov, who's been a makeshift right-back for us so far this season. And so the other option comes in Espanyol's right-back Omar Al-Hilali. He's been linked with Manchester City as well. He's quite pacey. He's good defensively. He's not quite that same technical gifted fullback that Reid is in terms of going for, but he can play as a wing-back as well as a centre-back if needed. He's more physical. He's a better defender. He's not so much the skilled player that Reid is. But I think he's a little bit more balanced. He can play that wing-back role, no problem. Plays a wide back in sort of a back three. I feel like he's a more versatile player, and he has been linked with Manchester City. Now, both are perhaps on the market in January. Al-Hilali has a release clause. I mean, look at those stats. 86 jumping, 86 sprint speed, 84 acceleration. His sort of technical side of his game needs work, but that is something that Manchester City can work upon. He's not going to be a liability defensively. And you guys have been voted anyway, and you guys voted between those two. And Omar Al-Hilali is the man who comes out on top of the vote. You believe he is the more realistic and probably the better option to bring in at right back this summer, or this January in fact, and then perhaps re-evaluate the situation in summer, depending on the form of Nunes, and if we go and try and take Tino Livramento off Newcastle, which would be a very difficult thing to do. But statistically, he's got everything we want. He's sort of a well-rounded player, but I do feel we can develop him into something of a superstar. Now, we did accept an offer from German side Stuttgart for Calvin Phillips. It was a lower offer than what we expected to sell him for. We did agree a deal with Lazio earlier in the window, but Lazio couldn't agree a deal with Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips, however, has decided to move to the Bundesliga and move away from the club for €6.5 million. That is a good move away from the club, and it's a good bit of money for a player we've really found it difficult to move on away. Just didn't work out, did it? No matter what he did, and it was time to go. Well, this is a really, really interesting deal we've been offered at the start of the transfer window as well in January. Former club of James Trafford, Burnley, have said, listen, you've had him at Manchester City now for 6 months. You've brought in Donnarumma, so he's not playing as much football. We're willing to take James Trafford on loan from you for 2 seasons. Now, on loan to the end of the season would sound sort of interesting because he isn't playing as many games as you would want James Trafford. Being 23, wants to play more games. It's difficult with Donnarumma ahead of him. But I have no interest in letting James Trafford go before the end of the season. That would mean then looking for a new goalkeeper. I am not doing anything like that. City would not break down their squad in like mid-season time anyway. So we're going to block all offers for James Trafford for now. Trafford will be going nowhere, and he certainly won't be returning to Burnley on loan. Well, interesting enough of the right backs, Javaru Reid has agreed a deal to sign for Inter. So he has joined Inter mid-season as a sort of long-term replacement for Denzel Dumfries. What we did identify is he's more of a right wing-back, isn't he? And perhaps maybe that's not what we want. Maybe he's not got the physical attributes to be a City player. I don't know. I think he was a very good option, but you guys didn't want Javaru Reid as an option. And our long-term right-back now, it looks like it's going to be Omar Al-Hilali, the man who has been fantastic for Espanyol in La Liga. He's got all the attributes to a Manchester City defender, full-back and one for the future. And he's sort of a project player, but a project player that can sort of share that role with Nunes, Kasanov, Stones, Rico Lewis, whoever might play there. And I am excited to bring him in and activate his release clause for him to become a Manchester City player. And there we have it. We have triggered the 25 million release clause in Omar Al-Hilali's contract. Every La Liga player has a release clause. His happens to be 25 million, 22 years of age, Moroccan fullback, and Manchester City now will look to bring him in, negotiate a deal which will be no problem with personal terms. He's going to be a Manchester City player. First signing on our FC26 career mode. Manchester City and Hugo Viana have agreed a deal for a right back in this January transfer window. We were looking to bring one in summer. He's impressed the scouts enough over his time playing for Espanyol throughout the season. So City go and trigger that contract release clause. They go and get him, and we get our long-term right back perhaps. So now we might look for another right back in the season as well. But Omar Al-Hilali, the Moroccan, will be joining Manchester City for 25 million euros. Release clause triggered. Welcome to Manchester City. Well, there is Omar Al-Hilali. He did wear the number 23 for Espanyol, which is, of course, a retired number at Manchester City. He's worn the number 25 and the number 15 for the Moroccan national side, so he has taken that number as well. I mean, he comes in the ranks of some really impressive fullbacks from his country, Mazwari and Hakimi, who've been amazing, haven't they, those two fullbacks? And he's looking to break the mould, I suppose, in that sense. I think he's a very balanced fullback. He's obviously better defensively than offensively. We can look at his statistics anyway and his attributes, and you can see that he's got very good pace, which is great. He can play as a wing back, he can play as a sort of defensive fullback as well. Very pacey, good in the air as well in his jumping, which I really do like, and defensively what we're looking for. 6 foot, he's not the tallest, but he's tall enough to be in the physical battles. His technical side of his game needs to be improved upon, but I think we can improve upon him with that. I'd like to really improve on his crossing, only 70 crossing. We saw with Reed, who was our other option, he had much better crossing. If we can improve his technical side of his game on top of his defensive qualities, I think we have a fullback for the future there. Now, whether he becomes in a battle in the future with a different right back in terms of bringing in maybe a Tino Livramento in the summer, we mustn't rule that out. But at the moment, he's battling with Nunez and Cassano for that position, maybe even Rico Lewis at times. Nunez had a fantastic season so far, but this man comes in as the future Manchester City, perhaps in that right back role. And we are going to develop him as an attacking wing back. Hopefully with that, we can really improve his attacking attributes, his crossing, his ball control and so on, because that is the area of his game he needs most improvement in. But he's got maybe a potential of maybe 85, 86. We think if we can get him to that, only 22 years of age, there's a lot of room to grow. And there is Omar Al-Hilali as a Manchester City player. He's sort of fact file. He's worth 21 million euros. We've paid 25 with a release clause on 70,000 euros per week. Great physical, great defending, dribbling and passing to work on, which he will do. But he's got a potential of 82 to 88, which really does excite me. And someone who has got the potential to be a starter at Manchester City with his performances. The other one was Reed, who we went for. He's actually joined Inter, as we know, for the replacement for Daniel Dumfries. He's got a higher potential, 85 to 91. But he's not like we can't look at making a move for him again in the future. Maybe Reed is the backup to Al-Hilali in the future. And it's the first round for Manchester City, the Emirates FA Cup. We take on Sheffield Wednesday away from home. Chance to rotate the team, play some of the younger players, and maybe even a debut for new man Omar Al-Hilali. Let's get this game going and this episode going in terms of gameplay. So it's a side for the Emirates FA Cup today for Manchester City. Starting off in goal, we go with James Trafford, the man who has been linked with a move away. It's Nunez at right back, Stones, Ake and O'Reilly City's back four. Nico in the midfield with Rico Lewis and Mateo Kovacic. Lewis started in that central role now. Shaqiri off the right, Savinho off the left, and Omar Marmoush through the middle of the bench. We've got a lot of youngsters. 3 experienced players in Phil Foden, Joshko Vardiol and Bernardo Silva. The youngsters in Mohamedou Sangare, Ryan McAdoo, Divine Mukasa and Stephen Mafuni. It was harsh not to let some of those players start after really good performances. And also the new man, Omar Al-Hilali, is on the bench and a chance perhaps to make an impact today. So to start as something special, it's Emirates FA Cup action for Manchester City. A chance to look at those players who don't play much games, and I always like to play these games because we do hope to get the likes of McAdoo and Mikasa and people involved today. And also we'd like to see perhaps a debut from Omar Al-Hilali. There is also some talk as well about the goalkeeper who plays for this side in Sheffield Wednesday, which is Pierce Charles. Came through the City youth system. His brother actually made his Manchester City debut, if you remember. Was it Shea Charles he was called? Pierce Charles is a very, very much a ball-playing goalkeeper, and he does start for Sheffield Wednesday today, which is interesting. Player to watch, though, for City's sense, is Ryan Shaqiri, superstar in the making. So this is Sheffield Wednesday side. They do start in a back 5, 3 in midfield, Bannon and Chalobah in there, Lowe and Ugbo up top, and they do have Pierce Charles in goal. Valerie and Lowe are going to be the attacking wing-backs. City need to be careful away from home here today. That's why we've gone with more stronger players, just in case things go wrong. Mateo Kovacic, who loves his position, this left side of midfield. He's found Savinho. He's got a bit of space in this far side, Savinho. Savinho inside. And Savinho, and seems to go so far. Savinho then get caught out before he can make a decision. He hasn't had the best of the season so far, Savinho. Back to Savinho. Back out to O'Reilly. Nico. Lewis finding space in that pocket. In behind to Shirky, who's in behind here. And Ryan Shirky makes it 1-0 Manchester City. A really good play there. Shirky was picked out as the man to watch in today's game. And certainly is, of course. His first appearance in the FA Cup. And he scores the opening goal for Manchester City. Just peels off in behind the defender there. Lewis finds him well in that pocket. The back five sometimes can be a little bit too spread, I think. That's your problem that you can have playing a back five. And that allows Shirky to get in behind. Nico. Kovacic. Comes to O'Reilly. Savinho. Into Kovacic. Oh, in towards Omar Al-Hilali at the near post. 2-0 Manchester City. Good play by City. Worked it really well. We were nice and patient there. Played it around. And Kovacic plays in Marmoush. And it's 2-0. And he's lethal in front of goal, Omar Al-Hilali. He really is. So dangerous. You say Nathan Ake's tired, bring on Vardy. If we're going to take Ake off, it will be Stefan Mafoni who comes on. With Savinho into Kovacic. On the sort of turn, a little reverse pass through to Marmoush. Near post pass Pierce Charles. And it's 2-0 Manchester City. Kovacic. O'Reilly. Savinho. O'Reilly. Savinho. Across the box. Marmoush. 3-0 City. Goal for Marmoush. Assist for Savinho. And we're working it really well at the moment. Played it around really well. Marmoush is getting goals in the cup competitions for fun playing through the middle. I mean, to have a striker as good as him to back up Erling Haaland is pretty impressive if you ask me. And he's at it again here, Omar Marmoush. Savinho, great play with O'Reilly across the box. A tap in for the Egyptian. Set up by Savinho. So here comes Nico's and a fantastic performance in midfield. He's replaced by Mukasa. Kovacic goes the holding role. And he is the young Rodri, isn't he? And Pep Guardiola is very impressed with him. So Makeda on that right now for Shirky. Mukasa in the midfield, 3-0 Manchester City. Mafoni on as well, so a lot of these youngsters can get a bit of football. Marmoush, Mukasa. Savinho. In. Marmoush with a header! Saved by Pierce Charles. Onto the post. Here is Rico Lewis. Wide towards Makeda. Back to Rico Lewis. Back into young Makeda here. Makeda across the box. Marmoush gets the hat-trick. An assist for Ryan Makeda. It's 4-0 Manchester City and the wingers have been brilliant today. They really have. Savinho's actually stepped up at times. A hat-trick for Omar Marmoush. And Ryan Makeda with a brilliant pullback to him as well. Number 15 comes on here for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola giving a bit of a talking to before he comes on. Marmoush with a hat-trick today. How will he do? And also Sangare the chance maybe to get some goals up top. 4-0. What a start to the episode. And Sangare goes in behind here. And Mukasa's found the Frenchman. And Sangare in a save by Pierce Charles. Could have been his first Manchester City goal there. Oh, what a find to Savinho. Brilliant. Sangare! It's a goal for Sangare. Assist for Savinho. What a ball by Mukasa. And young Sangare, a young midfielder coming through this Manchester City youth system, signed in the summer from Paris Saint-Germain. The top goal scorer in the UEFA youth competition. Mukasa finds Savinho across to Sangare. And he makes no mistake, the young Frenchman. He leathers it in to get his first Manchester City goal. Out-muscled by Jamal Lowe. Sent long here, but full-time whistle goes. What a start to this episode. A new signing comes in Omar Al-Hilali. He's played fantastic at full-back when he's come off the bench. The youngsters have really impressed. And Omar Marmoush gets a hat-trick, and we're through to the next round of the FA Cup. Things couldn't have started any better than that. A post-match interview for Pep Guardiola. Some talk to do. Well, Savinho dominated the game. He's content in his morale, Savinho. But today he had a fantastic performance and he played a really good game. And I actually think he shines better off the left than the right. Maybe that'll come in time, the ability to cut inside and shoot. But that's not quite his game. Marmoush obviously impressed because he got a hat-trick today. And Rico Lewis, instrumental in the midfield. What a performance at number 8 from Rico Lewis. That could be his future position in my eyes. Well, more news in terms of Manchester City in this transfer window. Fabrizio Romano has a direct call to Hugo Viana. We know that now because he's reported on more things. So apparently Giancarlo Ignacio of Sporting City Frankfurt, very interested in the player. Maybe we are interested, but not right now. Players on the move here, but we'll see. There's been more transfer news about Manchester City that I have seen that has been very interesting. People talking about where they're going, but there's been more news about a right back. Apparently, we are interested in Denzel Dumfries, which I've just seen here. From Arsenal and City interested in Interman Dumfries. Well, they've signed Jivaro Reed to replace Dumfries for the future. Maybe Dumfries leaves Inter. He said he'd like to play in the Premier League, but we've signed Al-Hilali now, and I'm not interested in Dumfries at all. I don't know where Fabrizio's getting his information. Well, it's more cup action now because it is the first leg of the Carabao Cup. I don't know if it is over 2 legs. I think it still is over 2 legs, the semi-final. Leeds played Chelsea. They've done really well, Leeds, to get to the semi-final. We play Newcastle United at St James's Park. We are first and second in the Premier League, so this is going to be a bit of a cracker and a bit of a preview to the game we might see between the two sides at the Etihad later on in the season in the Premier League. We know how good Newcastle are. They've been in fantastic form and they continue to do so. I mean, look at that side. And when they're picking out key players, they pick out so many key players in that Newcastle side. The form is brilliant. 1 draw, the rest wins in their last 5 games. When we play them, it's so difficult to break them down as a 0-0 draw. It could be Visser or Waltemada up top. They've got 2 different options. One that likes to run in behind, one that doesn't. One that's a bit more of a hold-up player. Gordon and Alanga that are fantastically pacey, wide players. Jolinton, Guimaraes and Tonali, what a midfield 3 that is. Just complete engines in that midfield. And then you've got Botman and Shah or Byrne, or whoever plays in there, Tio, who are fantastic. And then Trippier, Hall, Livramentos for like options. Their squad is absolutely fantastic. And no wonder they're up near the top of the Premier League table, at the top of the Premier League table. And no wonder they've got to semi-finals competition. We want to knock them out and go all the way ourselves. It's going to be difficult though, isn't it? It's going to be very difficult. I mean, you can look at the team stats here. Apparently so. In this competition, or competition total stats in this competition. If you look at total stats, we'll probably see who's got the most goals at the moment. It is Johan Visser, 22 goals so far this season for Newcastle. Gordon's got 12. The top in assists is Gordon with 7. So Gordon, Visser and Alanga, they're the 3 we need to look out for. This is how I'm going to put out to try and beat Newcastle today. We're going to start with James Trafford in goal. It is a cup competition. Vardy Al-Diaz, this defensive partnership, and a debut for Omar Al-Hilali. He's going to start at right back ahead of Matheus Nunes. That is a big decision from Pep Guardiola, but we're going to go with it. We've been impressed with what we've seen from him training. Near at left back. It's captain Rodri, Foden and Reinders in the midfield 3, the usual midfield 3. Today, no Doku or Shirky because Marmoush on the left, Savinho on the right, and Haaland through the middle. It's Bob, Doku, Shirky, Bernardo Silva on the bench as well as Kovacic, Gonzalez, or Nico, Nunes and Kasanov. Donnarumma is there as well. No Ake, no Stones. They are tired. No O'Reilly either. Come on, City. There's Carabao Cup, EFL Cup action. Manchester City versus Newcastle. 2 top sides currently on form in the Premier League. Newcastle sit top, Manchester City sit behind, and they are battling it out perhaps for a Premier League title. But today the Premier League is not in their mind. It's all about knockout football and a knockout chance to go through in this competition to a Carabao Cup final. This is a big game. I'm not sure if it's over 2 legs or not, or they reduced it just to 1 leg affair because of the amount of games these players have been playing. But it's always a chance for these players to impress, and they have done. Hat-trick in the previous game on Marmoush. There's no way we couldn't start today for Manchester City. The atmosphere at St James's Park is scary. It is honestly one of the best atmospheres in the Premier League. It's going to be rocking in there. They're going to be trying to cause problems for Manchester City, the fans. They'll be right behind the team. And the aggression in that midfield. Tonali, Guimaraes, Jolinton, who's captain the side today. I expect they go full strength. We have as well, pretty much. And it's going to be a baptism of fire, really, for City's new right-back. Signed from Espanyol for 25 million. Omar Al-Hilali. He starts for Manchester City today. And that is a big, big opportunity for him to impress ahead of Nunes, ahead of Kusanov. And a bit of a surprise inclusion. Pep Guardiola has seen something he really likes in training. They go with Pope, Livramento, Shah, Botman and Hall, the back 4. Tonali, Jolinton and Guimaraes, midfield 3. Visser, Elanga, Gordon, front 3. It is their strongest starting 11 with Voltemar to come off the bench. That doesn't get any better than that. Visser, Gordon and Elanga between them have got nearly 40 goals contributions this season. That is how good they've been. Can they see something in him? Savinho Foden. Al-Hilali is going as well. Savinho's going instead. Savinho! Tackled by Sven Botman. Great challenge behind for a corner. Fantastic challenge by Sven Botman. Marmoush over this. By Marmoush, Diaz at the far... Against Gordon, Haaland is there, Sven Botman. They are so good defensively, I have to say. Botman, Sharp, they are so good defensively. That's making it very difficult. Marmoush again. Rodri attacks it off the line. Marmoush. Al-Hilali here. Lifts one in. Haaland in the middle. Still gets the cross into Haaland. Against Tonali! 1-0 Manchester City. It's Erling Haaland with a goal. And the new man at fullback with the assist. The first cross doesn't quite come when they block it well. But he don't give up, does he? He just does not give up. He gets the cross into the box. Off Sven Botman. Lifts it high. Tonali against Haaland. Haaland's always winning it. 1-0 Manchester City. Erling Haaland with the goal. And Omar Al-Hilali with the assist. The new fullback. He's getting the numbers straight away. We said he's got to improve his offensive style of his game. Rodri. Reinders. Mike Newry making overlapping run here. Livermento's lost him. Crossed into the near post. Oh, Marmoush for the chance. Didn't get the power in it. Nick Pope dealt with it. Long towards Visser. Well read by Diaz, but straight down to Guimaraes. Reinders. Rodri. Savinho. He's on the overlap again here. Another cross in here towards Haaland. And Haaland's there in the header. And he can't keep it out, can Nick Pope. 2-0 Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. A double from Erling Haaland in the air. And both crosses coming from the right-hand side from Omar Al-Hilali. Well, he's not got amazing crossing. When we looked at someone like Reed, we said they're a better crosser. But he can improve his offensive side of the game. But defensively, he's much better. Reinders. Bad pass to Foden in a bad position there. Visser. Vardiel well dealt with. Aintniri away to Reinders. On to Marmoush. City with a bit of a counter-attacking opportunity again here. Marmoush on towards Haaland. Who's through here? Haaland. Haaland's in for the hat-trick in this one. Haaland makes it 3. What a goal from Erling Haaland that is. How composed was he there? Oh my word. His first appearance in the Carabao Cup, by the way, comes in the semi-final. He's on Nick Pope, bearing down on him. Pope's like, what do I do? What do I do? He waits for him to commit and just lifts it over him. That is outrageous from Erling Haaland. Look at this for a finish. Wow. Hat-trick in the first half against the league leaders. 3-0 in the semi-final. Have Manchester City, in Omar Al-Hilali, found the missing piece of this puzzle that he's building this Pep Guardiola side for something special this season? 3-0 at half-time. How do you handle Erling Haaland? 3 shots, 3 goals. Savinho and Tonali just too physical for him. Here's Tonali again. Oh, great ball in behind towards Gordon here. And Vardiel dives in. And Anthony Gordon, a big save by Trafford. And away by Diaz, what a save by James Trafford. And he has tracked back today, Savinho, brilliantly. Gordon against Al-Hilali here, he's passed him. Oh, what a challenge by the young fullback. I tell you what, he's impressed today. Against Aintniri. Aintniri with a great challenge there. Fantastic by Ryan Aintniri behind for a corner. The changes for City. They make a change well. So Bob, Shirky and Nico come on for Rodri, Reinders and Haaland. 3 of the key players being rested here today. Aintniri inside. It's switched. Gordon over the top here to Visser. Johan Visser. Nice attempt. I think it's saved by Trafford behind for a corner. It seems unlikely he'll be able to sign Tino Livramento, doesn't it, really? But that is full time. City 3, Newcastle 0. Whether it's over 2 legs, I don't know. But the first leg, we've come flying away. Big winners. Erling Haaland with a first half hat-trick. And what a debut from Omar Al-Hilali, who gets 2 assists in this game. Fantastic performances from Manchester City. I think that is, judging by the fans' sort of celebrations, was through to the final now. Vardiel's passing was on point today. Did it contribute to a positive result? Of course. Vardiel is the first name on the team sheet in terms of a left-sided centre-back. I don't think there's one better in world football. Reinders completing 25 dribbles. We know how good he is midfield. He's the first name in the midfield alongside Foden. And Rodri having issues with lack of discipline. Not even worth mentioning. Rodri's fantastic. Manchester City were fantastic. Why are they not asking about the man who debuted at right back who put 2 assists on a plate for Erling Haaland? Well, for analysis of what was an incredible performance by City there away at Newcastle, and high ratings for all the players all round, it has to be. James Trafford comes in with an 82 rated, deservedly so. I mean, that performance was absolutely top from James Trafford. Al-Hilali on his Manchester City first start, I believe it is, with a massive rating as well at 89. Vardy and Diaz, fantastic defence. I mean, City kept a clean sheet, but our highest rating in that game has to be Erling Haaland with a 93 rating. That first half from Erling Haaland, those 3 goals he scored, 3 very different goals in a sense, 2 that come from across. The third one, where he just calmly, nonchalantly lifts it over the goalkeeper Nick Pope, was so impressive. And that was by far my favourite goal I think I've scored in this series. I've scored screamers, or a few screamers, I've scored from range, I've scored some really nice teamwork goals, but in terms of just a really impressive finish, that Haaland one has to come top. Our analysis best 11 does change a little bit now. Aït-Nouri comes in at left back, Al-Hilali comes in after that fantastic performance, 89 rated at right back, Diaz is back in there, and I think Marmoush in on that right hand side, Doc on the left with 79 as well. But these City performances are getting better. I really feel like we're building towards something big this season. Also, big transfer news because Inaki Williams has left Athletic Club to join West Ham United in a €36 million move, which is really interesting. More transfer news for Brugge. He's attracting interest from Fulham and Wolves. Newcastle are interested in Aït-Nouri. Well, they'll get nowhere with trying to sign him from, obviously, a title rival as well. And, of course, Haaland, the hat-trick hero, that game just previously against Newcastle. And a massive game to end today's episode with transfer action involved. Only 3 games in it. It's a Manchester derby. City's fans are confident their favourites can repeat the previous result and seal a second win of the season over Manchester United. We go away to Old Trafford to face the side down in 7th place. Well, being that it is the halfway point pretty much in the season, we can see the Man United player stats and see who's doing the best for them. Matheus Cunha's proved to be one of their best signings alongside Benjamin Sesko and Brian Mbeumo, who've scored 5 and 6 between them. But it is Matheus Cunha who's got 17 goals for Manchester United. He's the man we need to be very wary of. Let's decide we're going to go with the Manchester derby today, starting with Donnarumma, of course, in goal. Al-Hilali could have started, but Al-Hilali doesn't start. We're going to go with Cassano at right back, Stones, Vardy, Aït-Nouri, City's back 4. Captain Rodri in the holding role with Reinders and Foden, the usual midfield 3, which is pretty much our starting midfield 3 now. Shaqiri ahead of Bernardo Silva or Savinho on the right, Doku ahead of Marmoush on the left, and of course Erling Haaland through the middle. On the bench we've got Marmoush, Savinho, Silva, and also Nico. We've got Núñez, Al-Hilali, Diaz and Nathan Ake. 4 defenders, 2 midfielders and 2 attackers. Núñez and Al-Hilali can play either side if we need them to. No Nico O'Reilly, who's left out. He's actually higher rated than both of those, so maybe he should be on the bench, and that's something to think about. But Núñez has been in great form. Cassano starting at right back. We've got maybe too many players and not enough players injured. We have really avoided injuries so well so far this season. Maybe that will change. I hope it doesn't. Let's hope it doesn't happen to one of our bigger players. Captain today will be Rodri, with Diaz not in there, with Bernardo not in there. Manchester derby, away to Old Trafford. Come on, City. It's Manchester derby time. What a way to end today's episode. Hopefully with something big. We've had 2 really big performances in today's episode. One which showed the young players really showing their performance against Sheffield Wednesday in the Cup. Then we had that fantastic one away in the semi-final against Newcastle United. A 3-0 win against a side battling to try and stay around the top with us. And now it's a Manchester derby against Manchester United. So we need to keep up our quality, keep up our form, keep things going. The month of January has so far been successful. The next episode, don't you worry, they will be signings for the future, like Manchester City do, bring in players for the future. That's what we'll be looking at. But now we need to focus on one thing and one thing only, the Manchester derby. Keeping sure we keep close to that Newcastle side at the top of the table and beating one of our rivals who are having a pretty average season, but not by their standards anymore. Their standards are like, what, 17th, 16th place in the league? So I guess 7th is quite good for them. So this is Ruben Amorim's Manchester United side starting in the 5-2-3. It is Bayindir in goal, back 5 Dello, Yoro, Martinez, Maguire and also Dorgu. Fernandes, Panatzagata in midfield 2 is a Sesko, Cunha and Mbeumo front 3. They are very dangerous. Reinders. Inside to Doku here. Doku. Oh, what a ball! Haaland against Maguire! Maguire, great interception. City can play a bit more expansive transitional football. Aït-Nouri, what a ball through to Doku. Trouble for United. Doku on towards Haaland. Fantastic interception by Martinez there. Cassano dives in. Sesko. Guardiola with foot in. Cunha. Cross comes in. Mbeumo with a header. Blocked away. Agate slices at it. And it's behind for a goal kick. Pressure from Foden. And Doku. Oh, Foden small, didn't nick it. Dallas give it straight to Reinders. Shirky. Reinders is in. Reinders at Old Trafford! Into that space to Doku here. Trouble for the opposition, Doku, because he's so tricky, Doku. And Doku plays Haaland here. And Erling Haaland across to Rodri from midfield. City score, he's offside. Rodri should have shot with Haaland. Rodri. Mike Nuri. Doku in behind here. Doku across the box to Haaland. That time we don't make a mistake. 1-0 in the derby. Doku finds Haaland and City have the lead. 18 goals in 22 appearances this season is not bad at all. And City lead at Old Trafford. Well, Captain Bernardo Silva played a lot of football at the start of the season. His slow has been phased out. Maybe I should have started on the right today because Shirky's been poor. But look at this. Nuri through to Doku. United panic. Haaland's away from Euro. And he just pokes it goalwards. Roof of the net. Bayern here, no chance. Bruno Fernandes plays it forward here towards Mbuemo. And Nuri goes and takes it off him. A heavy touch gives it back to Mbuemo. There's a foot race with Vardiel here. Oh, Vardiel beaten by Mbuemo. Stones can't stop him. What a goal by Mbuemo. Past Donnarumma 1-1. Nuri wins it and then loses it. And off they go. Vardiel with a poor challenge there after a fantastic game. Stones should do better as well. What a finish by Brian Mbuemo past Donnarumma. Reinders. Foden. Rodri. Reinders. Oh, back down to Haaland. Not that way. Back to Bayern here under pressure here. Oh, to Doku. Haaland! Oh, 2-1 Manchester City. Massive mistake by United at the back. And we pounce with the press. And Haaland gets his 19th of the season. United will be so annoyed with that one. What a silly goal to give away that is, really. It's really unnecessary. Euro panics into Haaland, straight to Doku. And he just lays it off to Haaland to put it in. 2-1 Manchester City. It's not a most interesting goal ever. Well, it's a brilliant one, isn't it? Reinders. Shirky, Haaland. Shirky! Oh, there you go. 3-1, Ryan Shirky makes it. Lifts it over Bayern here. He doesn't like Manchester United. He loves the game at Old Trafford. We saw it for Lyon. And he gets his third of the season now. I think he works so much better in the pocket like Phil Foden. He plays very much sort of the little 1-2 all the time. Shirky, pass and move, pass and move. Here he does the little pass and move with Haaland. And he goes and lifts it over Bayern here. He's willing to put his foot in on the goalkeeper to lift it over him. That's fantastic from Ryan Shirky. 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 Back to Haaland. Erling Haaland at Bayern here. Oh, what a goal that would have been. Shirky at the heart of it again. His footwork is fantastic. And that is full time. We end the episode with a nice big 3-1 win over Manchester United in the derby. Performances from Foden, Shirky, Marmoush. So many quality performances in there. Haaland as well. And City win the derby. And City have had a really... What an episode this has been. What an episode this has been. What an episode this could be in the grand scheme of things. And Omar Al-Hilali, remember the name because he is our new signing at right back. He's played at left back today. He's absolutely fantastic. Thanks for watching. Please like the video already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Consider joining the WSD Members Club to see these videos extended and early. A big Manchester Derby Day win to end things. We'll see you guys next time.